What's up, YouTube? So, in this video, I just want to address something real quick. I've addressed this before, but I'm going to address it again now. I've been getting more and more comments throughout the offseason, even though I've already talked about this 1,000 times, is the Deshaun Watson rumors. Now, I'm not saying the trade won't happen, because I'm not a part of the decision-making for the Dolphins. But if you ask me my opinion on whether or not I would like to trade for Deshaun Watson, the answer is no. And is it because Tua's better than Deshaun Watson? Absolutely not. Deshaun Watson is a better quarterback than Tua Tagovailoa as of 2021. That's a fact. Tua Tagovailoa has showed some flashes of talent. It shows some accuracy, enough arm strength, has a little bit of mobility to him, and his decision making is improving, but it is still questionable. Deshaun Watson is clearly he is a much better quarterback at this point, but there's a lot of other things that go into that. First off, let's start with his contract, right? Right now, his contract wouldn't be that bad at $10 million, but it's going to be jumping up to $35 million next year, $20 million the following, and then it just keeps going up, right? So, not only is he going to be expensive as hell because he had just gotten paid before everything happened, but also he is looking to be traded for a reason, right? Now, we'll get into some of the other stuff here in a little bit. But just look at what the Texans are asking for. And they're not bending on this. They're already unwilling to play him. They're just going to let him ride the bench right now. So they're looking for a package of 6 players and NFL draft picks. And these aren't just regular players, like backup players. They're looking for quality, starting caliber players, right? And multiple draft picks, right? And again, this isn't like 4th, 5th round picks. Like, look at this, right? The Texans rejected Deshaun Watson offer of 3 first-round picks and 3 third-round picks. That wasn't enough for them. Deshaun Watson is better than Tua Tagovailoa, but I'm not going to gouge the franchise for him. You can't. It doesn't make any sense. Deshaun Watson's a good quarterback, but you can't do that. And it's not like Tua's been playing terribly. I mean, the strength of our team is our defense, right? So the best thing Tua can do is not turn the ball over too much. Now, that interception yesterday was stupid. But for the most part, I thought he played decently. Did he play at an elite level? No, he didn't. He's not an elite quarterback. We can agree. But I don't think Deshaun Watson is either. I don't think Deshaun Watson is elite either. So, like I said, he is far better than Tua, but it's not worth it, right? That's just in my eyes. And then also, I didn't want to address this because I don't know the real situation. But look at this. And I do think a lot of this is bullshit, but he is facing 22 active civil lawsuits and allegations of sexual assault. We don't know if this guy's ever going to even be able to play again. And you want to gouge the franchise for him? For a guy who may never be able to play football again? That's what you want to do? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Now, if you could tell me that we can get a clear upgrade over Tua Tagovailoa for like a decent price tag, and it's a sure thing, I'm all for it. I'm always for improving on something. Even positions where I feel really confident, like our cornerback room. You know, with Byron Jones, Xavier Howard, Noah Igbenogany, Nick Needham, Jason McCourty, right? If you can tell me that right now I can improve even that room, yes, I would do it. But you can't break your franchise for this. That's the part that I think a lot of people aren't getting. And he may never play again. That's a real possibility. Whether he did it or not, because we know that the legal system is fucked. And with allegations like this, a lot of times, even if you do beat them, unfortunately, with what it does to your name and likeness, a lot of times teams won't touch you after this is all said and done. Because with all these allegations, they're going to drag Deshaun Watson's name through the mud. And that's an unfortunate truth. So he may never get an opportunity to play again. Now, I'm not above. Like, I'm not trying to defend Tua. If you've been with my channel long enough, you would know I did not want to draft Tua Tagovailoa. I didn't. He was my number 2 quarterback in that draft because Justin Herbert, with him in college, they really didn't let him open up the offense too much, so he didn't really get to reveal all the things he was capable of doing. But Joe Burrow was my number 1 quarterback that year. And I had said that if it's not Joe Burrow, then I don't want a quarterback at all that year. I didn't want to draft a quarterback. I wanted to build around Ryan Fitzpatrick for a year, really build the house, get a great offensive line, get a good receiving core, and then I wanted Trevor Lawrence the following season because I knew what kind of draft picks we had. I knew, I knew we had these 3 picks the next year. So I wanted to draft Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, and this was before, of course, I knew how big Zach Wilson was going to blow up and all that stuff. But that's what I wanted to do. So I'm not necessarily against upgrading over Tua, but not Deshaun Watson. That's a bad decision. Now, if you were to say, do you want Patrick Mahomes? Do you want Russell Wilson? People like this, we have some ability to talk about that. But again, I don't want to gouge the franchise. Because what I would rather do, run with Tua for a little bit, let the strength be our defense. Because, let's be honest, our offense isn't that good anyway. Our receiving core doesn't really create space that well. Our offensive line is bad. Our running backs are pretty mediocre. So our offense isn't going to be elite regardless. And if it doesn't work out, let's draft a quarterback. I want to do what I wanted to do initially, and that's build the house. You can't break the house and just bring in a quarterback with nothing around him. That doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't. That's my thought process. I'm not going to sit here and say that Tua Tagovailoa is an elite quarterback, because he's clearly not. His arm strength is just above average. You can even, if someone wanted to say it was average arm strength, I wouldn't argue too much. Decision making definitely needs work for sure. Needs to get quicker with it. Needs to, actually take a little bit more chances and do a better job of knowing when he should take chances, because when he does take chances, it's usually in stupid situations. I agree that his decision making needs work and he's not elite. But Deshaun Watson is a bad replacement. There's just too much riding against it. What they want for him, what his contract looks like, what he's facing. It's just not a good decision to me. Now, let me get this clear too. If this trade were to happen and Deshaun Watson actually gets out there and plays, I'm going to root for him regardless, because I'm a Dolphins fan and I'd rather win than be right. Let's get that clear. That's what I said about Tua as well. If Tua, I said right away, I didn't want Tua, but if he balls out, go for it. And same thing with Javon Holland. If you were with me for this last draft class, I didn't like Javon Holland. But if he comes out and balls out, gets Rookie of the Year, I'm going to root for him, because I'd rather win than be right. But, like I said, I just don't like this move. It just doesn't make sense to me. And like I said, I haven't wanted to talk about this because it's not my business. Like the legal part. It's not my business. I didn't want to talk about that, but people keep asking about the Deshaun Watson trade. And I can fight in the comments all I want, but I feel like the only way I can address it is just to do exactly what I'm doing right now. Just make a video addressing just this topic. So, anyway, I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on this. I know this is probably going to split the fandom. I know this is probably one of the biggest arguments Dolphins fans have right now. Like I said, I'm not against upgrading at the quarterback position. Let's get that straight right now. I'm not saying always let's just keep Tua, never look for an upgrade. I'm not saying that. I just don't like this option. If you want to say that, I haven't really looked at the quarterbacks too much coming up into this next draft class, but if one of them looks really good and you say you're interested in possibly replacing Tua with one of them, maybe. I'll have to take a look and see if I think you're better than Tua, but we'll see. But I think this, it just isn't worth it to me. So, yeah. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. If you liked it, appreciate hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, in the comments down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.